A bird in the hand is worth two in the Super Bowl. Welcome back to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me, here for the Week 10 Power Rankings video. It's already Week 10. The season is flying by, but we still have the best part to enjoy, and that is the playoff push and, of course, the playoffs. This candle here, guys, remember, we started this at 500 subscribers. We're over 700, but this candle is getting close to burning out. And we cannot get a new one until we get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys are not subscribed and you like the content, I appreciate the subscription. Please. I think like 80% of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed. YouTube's spying on you and they're helping me out. So again, if you're not subscribed, I would appreciate that big time. Let's get into the video. I think we know the drill by now, but the categories are Super Bowl conversation, comfy playoffs, 6-11, and wins the draft. I've kept the teams on the bye week in the position they were last week, which I know I caught a lot of flack for having the Jaguars in Super Bowl conversation, but that's just my opinion, and I'm not backing down from it. You guys are starting to disagree, comment, pick arguments with me. I love it. I love it. Okay, keep it up in the comments. If you disagree, share, speak your mind. Okay, you could teach me something. I'm here to try to help you guys see things from different perspectives. You can do the same for me. Absolutely. Let's get into it with the Cardinals. Wins the draft. Although Kyler Murray is coming back this week, confirmed, playing against the Falcons, which, good grief, the Cardinals may beat that sorry team. Speaking of that sorry team, the Falcons have the easiest schedule. I'll say it again for the third week in a row. The easiest schedule in the NFL. And what have they done the past 2 weeks? They've lost. Joshua Dobbs gets traded to the Vikings this week. Doesn't know the playbook, okay? I don't care what he says. He does not know that playbook. He may be able to execute some plays, but he does not know the playbook. He does not know the offense. He comes in, goes on the road. Just imagine what he had to do as a human, as a man, okay, to travel from Arizona, come to Minnesota, get settled in Minnesota for 2 days, then travel to Atlanta. The starting QB, which is actually the backup because Kirk Cousins is out, goes out with an injury, and Joshua Dobbs gets thrown into an offense as the third string quarterback on the road, and he wins. Atlanta is sorry. Atlanta's like you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be relegated to the CFL, to the XFL. Horrible. I'm putting them in 6-11 as punishment. I think the Seahawks and Lions are legit playoff teams, and the Ravens dominated both of them. They're led by a fantastic defense. Watch out for the Ravens. Yeah, here's the thing. I was on the Bills heavy at the start of the year. Heavy. And they're already getting into the category. This AFC is tightening up. In a lot of these divisions, there are teams that are one game apart. Luckily, the Dolphins are struggling a little bit themselves, but I don't know. This defense, the Bills' defense is weak. It is exploitable, and so I'm actually moving the Bills down to the category. Colts have an awful defense, and the Panthers could not put up the points on them. Bryce Young threw 3 interceptions. They got a long ways to go. Justin Fields comes back this week, although Tyson Bagent did hold his own. They lost to New Orleans, wins the draft. For 3 or 4 videos, I had no idea what to do with this AFC North, and now I'm starting to recognize that it is a legit division. I think the Bengals either win it or get the wild card spot, so give me comfy playoffs for the Bengals. Browns had a tough run with Watson out. He came back, and they beat the Cardinals 27-0. Don't think it's enough for them to get into the playoffs, but they're better than 6-11. I know Dallas lost in Philly this week, but I think they looked good overall. That's a hard place to play. Dak looked solid. Their defense just let them down at times. I do think they'll get the wild card spot in the NFC, so give me comfy playoffs. Packers won at home against a banged-up Rams team. Not impressed, 6-11. Houston is probably one of the most confusing pieces of this puzzle because they're a game or two behind Jacksonville. I think they could make a legitimate push at a wild card spot if some things go their way in the second half of this season. So give me the category for the Texans. I think that is certainly a team to keep your eye on as we near the playoffs. I think the Colts win 6 or 7 games. They're finding something with Jonathan Taylor. Gardner Minshew's doing his job, but I still have questions about this defense. This is not the same Kansas City team we are used to seeing. Up 21-0 against the Dolphins in the first half, and we're a possession away from losing that game. You take out Travis Kelce, and their offense is pretty watered down. I'm worried for this team as they face legitimate contenders as we get towards the end of the season. I do think they win that division. but they are far, far away from a Super Bowl conversation for me. Chargers put up 27 against a really solid Jets defense. They finally got Eckler involved. It's almost like I said maybe they should try that. It's going to be a long road for a wild card spot, but I think they have the weapons to get it done. They just have to keep bringing that solid defense that they brought last night. The Rams are a 6-11 team. The Raiders beat a 1-win Giants team, and they celebrate in the locker room like it was the Super Bowl. But maybe Aiden O'Connell is the guy. Maybe this new coach is the guy. 6-11, guys, I can't do it. 6-11, but the Dolphins may win this division just because the Bills are proving week after week that they can't close out games. Comfy playoffs for the Dolphins. Out of respect, I'm putting the Vikings in the category. I think no Kirk Cousins does hurt them, but Joshua Dobbs, I have to respect what he was able to do, albeit against the Falcons. I do think it is the Lions' division to lose, but maybe this team gets to 8 wins. Yeah, Bill Belichick just lost to the Commanders at home, wins the draft. The Saints are winning the NFC South. The Giants are preparing for the draft. And the Jets would have been legit if Aaron Rodgers was in, but for now, 6-11. All right, here it is. Fell in my comments last week, calling me wild for having the Jaguars in the Super Bowl conversation, but not the best team in the NFC. And I said I wanted another week. I wanted to see how they played against Dallas. Do I think the Eagles have questions? Absolutely. But do I think they are playing a whole game, both sides of the ball? Yes. If they can clean up some of their stupid mistakes that they've been having and play, again, a clean game, I think they are at the top of the NFC for that Super Bowl conversation. So I'll throw them in there for now. But I do think this team has some weaknesses and can be exploited. The AFC North is the most balanced division in the league. So out of respect, category. I'm hoping that Seattle's beatdown this week was more about the Ravens than it was the Seahawks. They get an easier matchup at home against the Commanders this week. They're tied at the top of the division with San Francisco. I would hope they can get a wild card spot. I don't want to eat my words. My prediction this week was that Baker Mayfield would look like a Hall of Famer and they'd put up a ton of points on Houston, and that was right, but they still lost. And for that, you deserve to be in the wins the draft category. Will Levis is making the throws. I think he's the guy, not only for this season, but for the future. I have been impressed in the 2 games I've watched him play. However, I don't think it's enough for this year, but I think they have a lot of potential in future years. I'm gonna drop them in 6-11. Commanders keep bouncing back between these 2 spots. Let's just do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a commander by his toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. 6-11. Taking a look at our movers, shakers, and money makers, we see no change to the Ravens and the Jaguars, but we do have the Eagles moving up as the NFC Super Bowl contender. As for comfy playoffs, a clean sweep from last week. Nothing changes at all. I'm feeling really good about these teams either winning their division or grabbing a wild card spot. As for the category, we see the most movement in this category. I'm worried about the Bills. I'm worried about this defense, and ultimately I'm worried about Josh Allen having to do too much. They have James Cook, they have Latavius Murray, and they don't run the ball. So they are moving down and making me question some things. The Texans and the Vikings both got big wins. I don't know if it's going to be enough for a playoff push, but it certainly is enough to earn my respect, so we'll move them up. As for 6-11, get the Falcons out of the NFL. They're not worthy, and we put the Commanders up just because they fell on the correct side of an eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and wins the draft. Bill Belichick is playing for a draft pick. Are you kidding me? I thought I would never utter those words. If you had told me that 5 years ago, I would have called you a maniac, and the Buccaneers just can't get it done. Wins the draft for Tampa Bay. 1,000 subscribers by the end of the day, and I start an OnlyFans, but I don't see that happening. So for now, I'll keep my clothes on. We'll see you next time.